Morning people, Truth Bomber back here. We're going to get into a video on self-actualization, and that's the name of the game while we're here on Earth and the planet and the school here we have. Most people are distracted with social media, cars, bling and status and all that kind of thing, but the truth of it is, behind the scenes, there are beings working with us to help us self-actualize. Now, it's a process. I've been through it. It's not easy, but it can be done. It's about learning about your shadow and embracing the darker aspects of yourself so you can become whole. So like yin and yang, we have a light and a dark side. So the religious people have an issue with this idea of spirituality since eons, because it goes against their teachings. There's been philosophers throughout time that have been disbanded and kicked out of religious synagogues and practices. So you've got Baruch Spinoza, who had and philosophized pantheism. He was Jewish in the 1700s. He got kicked out of the synagogues because his idea that God connects to everything goes against both Christianity and Judaism. That's just one example. And then you've got also the very first, which is the king of the martyrs, which was Giordano Bruno, and that was in the 16th century. Now, this was the first and only man ever in the history of the world that argued and philosophized the idea of he was in agreement with Copernicus, who found out that the world revolves around the sun and that everything revolves around the world. And Giordano Bruno agreed to that and vouched for that. And his ideas are even more out there, which are relevant today, because he was discussing that the universe is infinite, and there are an infinite number of planets and beings, which in fact is the truth. Now, he was dragged through the court system way back by the Vatican, and the Roman Catholic Church crucified him, literally burned their mother. There's in Naples, he was Italian. He was born in Naples, I believe, in Italy, and there's a monument there, a statue recognizing his beautiful ideas and his etiquette and elegance in speaking. And I believe he defended himself during this I don't know what you call it, not interrogation, but they destroyed this man, and he's the king of the martyrs because he just didn't give in. He died, and then with, I believe it was Galileo, he agreed to what Giordano Bruno's findings were, and he had the pressure put on him by the Vatican Church, and he bowed down. So you can see now in today's age, the same thing is happening with the information age. You've got people who are standing up saying, this is what I believe, this is what I, there's only two genders, and then you've got this system, or this like putrid, despicable entity behind the scenes that's trying to create this division, which is ultimately trying to accept pedophilia. So anyway, that's a whole nother subject. Just to give you a bit of the background. So why we're here, and they don't want us to know this, is to evolve. So it's a process, and it begins with the body. Once you clean the body and you get it physical, fit, so it's operating well, that will lead you to the mind. Like, you notice a lot of people go to the gym and they can't stop going to the gym. They can't stop going to the gym because their body is like so tuned into it, but it comes in an addiction. Now, as a result of that, the body gets so fit that there's a slow transition into the mind, because the mind then has to start battling itself. Like, am I doing this too much? It's got to discipline your body with what food it eats and when it goes to the gym, and it's got to prioritize and manage the other parts of your life with family, and it gets overcome. So it naturally moves into the transition of the brain and the mind. Following the mind, once you've mastered balance and the body's already good, and you now got the other areas of your life in alignment with the chakras, it will naturally move to the soul, and that's the final level. So the soul goes deeper because the soul's eternal. It doesn't die. It keeps going. Your body, the soul leaves the body and it comes back again to learn and learn and learn. Now, if you're sitting at home watching the game, having a beer, you may as well be sitting there, with your, I mean, it's mindless. You're not going, you're not evolving. So eventually, after many lifetimes, you'll start to find your way. At this current time in the universe, in the planetary alignments, there's a really fantastic opportunity for everyone to jump levels really quickly if you put in the work. And believe me, when you put in the work and you get on the other side, it is amazing. The gifts that you discover that you are have access to, which is like telepathy, which is how they used to communicate back in the old days, way back, the ancient times, because you didn't need speech to communicate. You could send pictures telepathically. Now, to do that, your vibration has to be very, very high. As I said before, you begin with the body, clean it out, eat the right foods, move into the mental state, which is managing your emotions. So with your emotions, when someone triggers you, if you've been going to the gym for a whole lot of time and you've managed the strength of going through the pain of building your body up, and you're and managing what you eat, when someone triggers you and says, oh, you go to the gym too much, that ain't no thing. You're like, oh, it might trigger you to start with, but because you've trained yourself, naturally you'll move through the process and towards the soul. The soul, as I said, is the last stage. That's probably another whole video, because the soul is, I'll give you an example now with Andrew Tate. He's got his Hustler University. He's, pushing this whole idea of being fit and being masculine, which is great. That's a whole attribute within this process. But what he's avoided, because he isn't there yet, is that once you become so successful, your body, he's mentally strong. He's at the point now he's moving into soul level. So he's become bored with his 27 fancy cars and all the money and all the bling, and he's doing his job. Eventually, after he's mastered that and he's created such, because they've arrested him in that, but he'll get out. He'll move into soul space, and that's another higher frequency altogether. So you move through the levels. So if you have any questions or you want further information on any specific area, by all means, just leave a comment and I'll get back to you as and when I can. Truth Bomber out.